What is up, everyone? I started a little bit early here since I'm still new to this, but hopefully some people join in here in a little bit. We got some news. I had a fun time yesterday talking with y'all. I don't think we're going to be on as long as we were yesterday. We were on for about 4 hours. It was crazy, but it was fun. So, new news is going to take precedent just like it did yesterday, but we will talk about whatever whoever hops in wants to talk about what they've got going on. We do have a bunch of big signings that happened since that last live stream though. So let's talk about some of those. So, first of all, Austin Eckler is no longer an LA Charger. He is going to the Washington Commanders. That is a huge signing. Um, I think it's very interesting how many veteran running backs we're seeing get traded or not traded, but sent to different teams through free agency. Especially considering how the market was last season. It wasn't great. Teams weren't really paying running backs, and now uh, free agency seems to be um, paying running backs not a whole lot, but at least a bit more. Josh Jacobs got a decent payday. Austin Eckler had a decent payday. It was a decent day. Let me see. Austin Eckler got a 2 year deal, so worth up to $11 million. So again, not a huge payday, but definitely something that I think is a little bit better. Maybe that market is resurfacing, and maybe this draft class just isn't that great in the eyes of NFL owners and GMs. So maybe that's why this veteran class is getting so much attention. The Dolphins, I know we had a Dolphin fan in here yesterday. Kelly, shout out if you're watching this back later. You were saying the Dolphins aren't doing anything. Well, they did something. Seahawks linebacker Jordan Brooks was signed by the Dolphins to a 3 year, $30 million contract per Adam Schefter. So Miami did get something done. Congratulations, Kelly. Happy for you. I know that was something you were looking for the Dolphins to do, especially on defense. Let's see what's some other big signings. Oh, Michael Onwenu, a guy who I wanted the Bengals to get. He got put off the board. The Patriots re-signed him. He was ranked 15 on the free agency board. We still don't know where Daniil Hunter is though, and he was number 5. But Patriots are re-signing O lineman Michael Onwenu to a 3 year, $57 million deal, including $38 million guaranteed. That is a lot of money. We got a lot of quarterbacks on the move too. By the way, Sam Darnold is signing a 1 year, $10 million deal with the Vikings. Be interested to see if he's going to be the starter there, or if he's just going to be in there as a backup. We'll have to see. And then Marcus Mariota signed with the Washington Commanders, which uh, I I didn't see that coming. I don't think anyone saw that coming because I mean the whole deal has been they have the number 2 overall pick, right? They're definitely drafting a quarterback. Well, now they have Sam Howell, and now they also have Marcus Mariota. So which one's going to be the backup? Is either of them going to be the starter? I don't think anybody knows. I mean, I'm very interested to see what the Commanders do with that number 2 overall draft pick. They have the option to obviously trade back, maybe get something for that. But I it seemed like they were all in on this draft class. I mean, there was rumors that they were going to trade for Justin Fields. That hasn't happened yet. Um, what I what do you guys think is going on there? Let me know down in the comments what you think is going on with the Washington Commanders. Very weird organization. And then, of course, last night, this was the big news. Did a separate video about it, but Joe Mixon got cut after I made a video saying, well, actually, here it was reported that Joe Mixon got cut after I made a video saying Joe Mixon wasn't going to get cut. And all the comments under that video now were like, hey, Joe Mixon got cut. Idiot. Which, fair enough. But he didn't get cut. It has been reported this morning Joe Mixon will be getting traded to the Houston Texans. It's unknown currently what the Bengals got in return for Joe Mixon. Hopefully, it's a decent haul. They did get a third-round pick back, compensatory pick, after the NFL messed that up. Yeah, so the Bengals have another third-round pick, and then they have whatever they got for Joe Mixon. Also, in Bengals news, Bengals free agent tight end Irv Smith Jr. reached an agreement to a one-year deal with the Kansas City Chiefs. He was signed with the Bengals last year for 1 year. Wasn't a great signing, didn't do much, struggled a bit, but he's going to Kansas City now. And the Bengals signed a tight end. The Bengals signed Mike Gesicki, who was someone last year that Bengals fans really wanted them to go after. When he was coming off the Dolphins, he ended up going to the Patriots. I believe that was last season. The Bengals have kind of had a rotation of tight ends. Mike Gesicki is the newest tight end in that system. I hope we still go tight end in the draft as well. I think that Ben Sinnott out of Kansas State is. You're going to hear me mention Ben Sinnott going to Kansas State multiple times if you follow the show regularly. Let's see what else we've got here. Derrick Henry to the Baltimore Ravens. That's another big signing. We'd heard rumors about that yesterday. We talked about that a little bit during the live stream yesterday. But yeah, that's what we've got so far. Gonna keep just talking about what we've got. Dolphins also are agreeing to a contract with linebacker Shaquille Barrett, worth up to a max of $9 million. So, another big signing there for the Dolphins and Kelly if she hops back in here. Ooh. Falcons just signed Darnell Mooney. Okay, Falcons making some moves down there. 3-year, $39 million deal. There were a lot of teams that were reportedly interested in Darnell Mooney. He was with the Chicago Bears since he was drafted, obviously. And there was rumors that the Patriots, the Chiefs, even the Bengals a little bit might go after him. He ends up in Atlanta with Kirk Cousins. That offense is going to be dangerous. I have always thought Darnell Mooney was a guy with a ton of potential who it was never reached. This is a great signing for the Falcons, especially after they just signed Kirk Cousins, get him a few more weapons to work with down there in Atlanta. I'd really like to get another big move here. This Derrick Henry to Baltimore thing is big, but I mean we talked about it yesterday. We knew about the rumors. We can talk about the contract though. Now we've got that. We just got that. According to Adam Schefter, the contract is 2 years, $16 million deal worth up to $20 million, including $9 million fully guaranteed in the first year with the Baltimore Ravens. So it's a big signing for a Baltimore. He might be a problem. I'm not gonna lie. He kind of took a step back last season a little bit, but he's still Derrick Henry, and you got to respect Derrick Henry. That's kind of a bargain. Him and Lamar Jackson are going to be dangerous in that backfield, I think. And I don't know how Lou is going to scheme up to stop them, but I'm sure that there is a way because despite how they may appear, they are still both human. Ari Mirov just posted a updated running back landscape. So let's just go through that real quick. Saquon Barkley is an Eagle. Derrick Henry is a Raven. Josh Jacobs is a Packer. And Aaron Jones is a Viking. I think I forgot to mention that. He was cut yesterday following the signing with Josh Jacobs. He is now signing with the Vikings. So he's moving to a divisional rival. Joe Mixon is being traded to the Texans. I still haven't seen what the compensation there is. Austin Eckler to the Commanders. As we talked about, DeAndre Swift is going to Chicago. Tony Pollard to the Titans. Devin Singletary to the Giants. Gus Edwards to the Chargers. Zach Moss to the Bengals. That was one that I wasn't a huge fan of at first, but I kind of got talked into it. I kind of like it. He's got better pass blocking. Always going to love Joe Mixon. No hate against Joe Mixon. He was a light in a very difficult time to be a Bengals fan. I really enjoyed watching Joe Mixon. But, you know, sometimes the time is just up, right? And Duke decided that was this year, got Zach Moss on a cheaper deal. Similar running efficiency, better pass blocking. Receiving is still yet to be seen because, I mean, when you got Burrow throwing to you versus Gardner Minshew, that's hard to tell. We'll see what happens there. But Joe Mixon is technically a better receiver at coming into this. And then Antonio Gibson to the Patriots. We just got another notification. Malcolm Roach to the Broncos. Doesn't have the sack production, but New Orleans is high on him. High motor, says Jeremy Fowler. So, very, very interesting there. I mean, I want to see what the Broncos do at quarterback. They're reportedly interested in Sam Darnold before he got signed by the Vikings. So you got to think that they're out there. Then they didn't get Marcus Mariota. They didn't get Gardner Minshew. They still have Jarrett Stidham, but are they looking to draft? What are they looking to do down there in Denver? Yeah, so Paul Denner Jr., one of the Bengals writers, great writer, he points out that Mike Gesicki is more of a wide receiver than a tight end. Which, hey, you know what? That's fine because they brought back Drew Sample yesterday, and Drew Sample is like heavy blocking. So now we've got heavy receiving. Let's draft a guy who's a middle of both, kind of. Ben Sinnott is that guy, in my opinion. And then Tanner Hudson as well. Bring him back. So now you've got 4 tight ends. I think a 4 tight end set is good coming into camp. We'll see what happens here, though. I do like this Mike Gesicki signing. It's only $3.5 million. Great deal. Great deal, in my opinion. And the Browns aren't bringing back Joe Flacco. Interesting. So Nick Padone, one of the writers there, he pointed out that Joe Flacco fever was a magical time, and the Browns are going to have to answer some tough questions about not bringing back the reigning comeback player of the year who led them to the playoffs. And I think the answer is pretty much just they're all in on Deshaun. They have to be. His contract is fully guaranteed. You have to go all in on this guy now. No matter what he does, you have no choice. I want to know. I want to know where Joe Mixon or not Joe Mixon, DJ Reader ends up. Yeah, now that Derrick Henry is in Baltimore, you have to sign Derrick Henry, in my opinion. Like, We need the run stop, or you have to sign DJ Reader now that Derrick Henry's in Baltimore. Joe Mixon going to the Texans. We got some great moves coming out of Cincinnati here. We got someone else who joined here. Let me know what you think about your team in free agency so far. We can talk about whatever moves you want. I'm just kind of going over the newer stuff right now. Kelly and Scott were in here yesterday. Kelly, she's a Dolphins fan. They made some moves at linebacker. If we can get Danielle Hunter and DJ Reader's signings figured out, that would be a good live stream today, right? I guess while we're here, let's just talk more about this Mike Gesicki signing. Mike Gesicki is a long-term tight end who has been with the team who hasn't been with the Bengals before, obviously, but he has been with the Dolphins long term. He was pretty good down there in the red zone, and he was with the Patriots. And with the Patriots, he kind of took a step back. I think he regressed a little bit behind Hunter Henry, at least receiving wise. Let me pull up his actual stats here, but I just don't remember him doing a lot with the Patriots. So I'm hoping he kind of bounces back with Cincinnati. Of course, everyone kind of struggled in New England with Mac Jones and Bailey Zappi being the quarterbacks. But yeah, Mike Gesicki overall 55.7, 58.3 receiving. Not great numbers. Let's compare that to Hunter Henry, who was in that same system. So I'm going to guess Hunter Henry's in the 60s or 70s. I think he was a bit better. Yeah, so overall 69.3. His receiving is 72.2. So of the two New England tight ends, Hunter Henry was definitely the better one. I think just watching the games could tell you that. But Mike Gesicki has had that potential. If we go back to like 2020, he's up there 78.1, 79.4 receiving. So Mike Gesicki has that potential. And Joe Burrow has turned tight ends into stars, right? I mean, Irv Smith Jr. was really the first example of that not happening. And Burrow was hurt, so who knows there. But Mike Gesicki, he has a chance to kind of rewrite his career here in Cincinnati. Look at Hayden Hurst and CJ Uzoma. Both of them, after playing with Joe Burrow, got huge contracts. And then CJ didn't really do much in New York, and then Hayden Hurst got hurt, so we can't really judge too much there. But the Panthers did end up releasing Hayden Hurst. So there's definitely the idea that maybe Mike Gesicki is able to kind of have a, I guess, resurrection in his career for the Cincinnati Bengals and for himself. So a couple more things that need to fall are T. Higgins trade, whether that actually happens. And we didn't talk about that a whole lot yesterday, so let's just get into that a little bit. T. Higgins, he's with David Mulugheta, agent the Bengals have never done a deal with. They just, for whatever reason, don't get along, haven't gotten a deal done. And T. Higgins has apparently requested a trade. That kind of came out of left field, in my opinion. He'd been saying he wanted to stay with Joe Burrow. He'd been saying Bengals are his favorite team. His mom hasn't said anything on Twitter. She's pretty active on Twitter with Bengals fans, but we just gotta kind of trust what we have, I guess, because David Mulugheta also likes to play the media. He likes to go to war through the media, and he likes to try to force teams to do stuff by riling up fan bases through the media. And so he did this with Jesse Bates, and now he's saying that the Bengals haven't uh, talked to T. Higgins since March of 2023 about an extension. I just don't believe that. That doesn't seem likely to me. That seems like something that you want Bengals fans to read, and you want them to go like yell at Mike Brown and Elizabeth Blackburn and be like, "What the heck is this?" That just doesn't seem like something that's true to me. Um, and Mike Brown isn't going to be. You're not going to make him back down from this franchise tag unless you get him exactly what he wants. And Mike Brown is probably going to want a haul for T. Higgins. I'm guessing a first round pick would be involved, or they're just going to say, "Hey, you're going to take the 21 million fully guaranteed, and then we'll figure it out from there." But now I think David Mulligetta has kind of backed himself into a corner a little bit because he's allegedly said that teams are willing to trade a first round pick uh, for T Higgins. So Mike's just going to be like, okay, go get it. Now he has to go convince teams to not only trade a first round pick or the equivalent of a first round pick to uh, the Cincinnati Bengals, but he also has to convince them to take on this huge extension contract that they apparently want. Because it's got to be huge, otherwise the Bengals would have re-signed him, right? Um, it's been reported that he wants to reset the market. It's been reported that he wants more guarantees than some of these other wide receivers have in their total contracts, including incentives. So uh, that's going to be hard for David Mulligetta, I think. We'll see what happens. That's one of those pieces that hasn't yet fallen yet. We don't know where um, T. Higgins is going to go. We don't know where DJ Reader is going to go. And we do know that the Bengals are active in free agency. Gesicki was signed. Mixon was traded. They brought in Geno Stone yesterday. I was very excited about that signing. So we'll see what happened. I'd be all right with a cheap. Okay, so Drew Garrison just tweeted, "I'd be all right with a cheap Mike Gesicki deal as long as his contract states that he is not allowed to gritty on March 8th." And he's saying, "Hey, we got it done." So, Mike Gesicki, welcome to Cincinnati. You're not allowed to gritty though, per Drew Garrison. A big move for Cincinnati. Um, Let me know what you want your team to do down below in the comments, and let's talk about it. Let's talk about these other team signings. Yeah, 1 year up to 3.25 million for Mike Gesicki. That is a deal. That is a deal. What do we got, guys? Welcome. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Um, but also, let's talk about your teams. Let's talk about what you're excited for to see from your boys. And the Jets are making another move. I'm going to have Stan the Jet fan on later tonight, and we're going to discuss all their free agency moves and what his favorite free agency moves are around the NFL. So that should be an exciting conversation, fun conversation. Likai Fotu to the Jets for 2.5 million base with an upside to 4 million per source. That's more defensive line depth for the Jets. I was really expecting them to be a lot more active on O line. We haven't seen that yet, but hey, maybe they'll go heavy in on the draft, and they're just getting these guys that they can get through free agency right now. They're getting some bargain picks. Let me make sure this is something. Let's get some people in here. Do we have another signing here? Got another notification. No, but still that Likai Fotu signing here. I'm happy for these running backs, though, that they're finally getting paid, that they're finally getting some money. Not big numbers, like what I said before, but I'm glad that they are getting anything, right? I mean, before they were hardly getting paid, or they were just being told, okay, we just won't resign you. You're out of the league. We'll go draft your replacement. Very, very interesting to see how that changed over the course of a year. Oh, that Brian Burns trade. We didn't talk about that yesterday. Let me pull up the compensation for that because that was a blockbuster trade, right? I mean, he was on that tag, and then he was saying he wanted 30 million a year, and everyone was like, "You're crazy." And the Giants came in and they said, "Hey, we'll do it. We'll give him the 30 million a year average." I want to see. So the Panthers ended up trading Brian Burns to the Giants for second and fifth round picks, and then Burns signed a 5-year deal worth up to 150 mil. So he's going to get that 30 mil if he reaches the full extent of his contract. So that's going to be huge for the Giants. That's going to be a big cap hit too. Kayvon Thibodeau and Dexter Lawrence are also over there on that defense. So that New York Giants defense could be pretty dangerous here in a few years, or even this year. They might be troublesome because they were pretty scary last year, but their offense was an issue. Let me know what moves you want to see your teams make, or let me know what moves your team has already made that you're super excited for down in the comment section here on this chat, and let's talk about it. We had some great conversations yesterday. Some great fans were in here. I'm telling you that DJ Reader is scaring me now because I know he's hurt, and I was hesitant to re-sign him because of that. But now that I've seen what these guys are going for, I mean, Christian Wilkins went for 110 million. Chris Jones is going 32 million. Hopefully, I'm hoping DJ Reader takes like a injury slash like hometown discount or something, and then we draft a defensive interior guy because we only have BJ Hill. Bengals only have BJ Hill right now. So they need someone, especially with Derrick Henry, of all people, signing with the Baltimore Ravens. Who knows who the guy is going to be in Cleveland, right? We don't know what Nick Chubb's health is like, or even if he gets healthy, is he going to be good? That's hard to tell. Obviously, we hope for a full recovery. Um, but the Bengals' run defense was not good last year. And now you have some of the best uh, running backs in the league. I appreciate it. Sweet Pod says 3, Windy 1, City 2. Appreciate it. I know who you are, but I don't know if you want me to say your name on YouTube, so I'm just going to leave it at that. But I appreciate you hopping in here. And what moves are you excited for? I think, are you a Bears fan? What are you guys doing? You got DeAndre Swift, but are you guys bringing in Caleb Williams? You keeping Justin Fields? What's going on over there? Let me know. Bears fan. That's what I thought. Yeah, you're a Bears fan. What are you guys doing? It's very, very confusing. I was hoping y'all would trade Justin Fields first so then I could figure out like where the other quarterbacks were going, but you guys are holding out. We know that Kirk Cousins is in Atlanta. Darnell Mooney went down to Atlanta with him. So Atlanta's making moves with Chicago Bears players, but what not Justin Fields, not the Atlanta or the Chicago Bears player we thought was going to be going to Atlanta. We're on here for 4 hours yesterday just talking about all these moves. Would love to draft Williams, trade number 9 and something else and move up for Harrison. Ooh, that would be. I don't know if a team will let you do that. Well, so here's the thing. I mentioned this a little bit earlier, but the Washington Commanders are weird now because the whole message has been they're going to draft a quarterback at 2, right? So now they have Sam Howell and they just signed Marcus Mariota to a 1-year deal. So is Sam Howell still the starter there then? But I thought he wasn't, and now they're drafting a quarterback. So if they're running with Sam Howell still, if that's the plan, then are they going to draft Marvin Harrison Jr.? In which case, do you think that the Bears would be able to even trade for him? The Commanders really threw a wrench into that whole like top 5 here. Why can't you guys just like make it simple so I can mock draft and we can be done? I know who the Bengals want to take. The Bengals want to take J.C. Latham, or they want to take Oli when he rarely falls to the Bengals in the PFF mock drafts. But the Washington Commanders are throwing a wrench in things. We got that starting tight end now too. We've got 2 tight ends. Came into free agency with no tight ends. Now we have 2. Still waiting on a Tanner Hudson re-signing, and then I am drafting Ben Sinnott for our 4th tight end as well. Joe Mixon is going to the Texans. Irv Smith Jr. went to Kansas City. They can have him. Bengals have been active in free agency. Still waiting to see the Bears' big moves. Trade number. What else would you be able to trade? Because that's a big move up from 9 to 2. Like I know that doesn't sound like much, but that is a huge jump. What would you be willing to give up for that number 2? Assuming it's number 2, what would you be willing to give up for that number 2 overall draft pick from the Commanders? Are you giving them back their defensive lineman that you took? That'd be kind of funny, actually. Give them 9 and so was it Sweat? Still waiting on Danielle Hunter, who's number 5 overall on the free agency chart. And I believe he's the last of the top 15 to not be signed. Number 9 in next year's first. Okay. Maybe. Yeah, they might go for that. I don't know what their plan is. If their plan is to just get a wide receiver and they aren't heavily invested in what's his name? Marvin Harrison Jr., they might go toss in Fields. Okay, Fields. So we've got Fields, a 9 in next year's first. So the Bears are bringing in Williams then in your scenario. If the Commanders aren't all in on Marvin Harrison Jr. and they're not like emotionally connected to him, then they might be fine with going after someone like Malik Neighbors or even like going a little bit high on Odunze, because I think Odunze is supposed to go a bit further than 9, but he's there. So that's a possibility. I don't know if the Commanders consider themselves needing a quarterback though. So that could be. I think they need a quarterback. I was impressed by Sam Howell early in the season, and then he just kind of fell apart. And I don't have much faith in Marcus Mariota as a starter. So Justin Fields would probably end up being the starter there, as much as I know Commanders fans aren't going to want to admit that. But some very good points being made here by 3, Windy 1, City 2. It's a confusing username, by the way. It should be 321, right? Numbers are hard. Well, Brody, we got Brody in here. What are your thoughts on the patch? Who the patch should take at quarterback? Okay, so I really like Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels is my quarterback this year that I have enjoyed watching the most, which is weird because I don't usually like mobile quarterbacks. Three, Windy one, City two isn't going to like this, but I'm not huge on Caleb Williams. Would love to be proven wrong, but I'm not a hater. I just don't get the hype. I think he'll be okay. I don't see him as like this generational, can automatically change everything prospect that a lot of people seem to. I think the system's going to play a lot into his success. But the Patriots, they're going to need some weapons. First of all, no quarterback's going to be able to succeed if they have no one to throw to. But I really like Jaden Daniels. I think Jaden Daniels would be a good pickup for the Patriots. I could be convinced of Drake May, but I think he reminds me too much of Zach Wilson. Really, everyone talks about his strong arm, and that's all they talk about. They don't really have any other stuff. I think Jade Daniels is quick to get back to his base when he's on the move in the pocket, and he's able to make these throws that are they're long throws, but he's able to keep both his feet down, get a good foundation before throwing the ball instead of like throwing off of one leg. He also throws from the hips a little bit more. That's where he gets his power from, which is what you want in a quarterback. You don't want them just like, I guess, shot putting almost the ball every throw because they'll throw out their arm and you don't get as much power. Brody, what can you tell us about Mike Gesicki? If you're a Patriots fan, the Bengals just signed Mike Gesicki to a 1-year, $3.5 million deal. I talked about how he'd taken a bit of a step back in New England, but do you think that was a good signing for the Bengals? Bad signing for the Bengals? How do you think he'll do with Joe Burrow in the Bengals offense? Waiting on see if Brody says anything here. He's ghosting me. Brody went dark. Okay. Well, hopefully he pops back in to give us his thoughts about Mike Gesicki. I like the signing. I hope he's not like the only tight end that they're planning to run with, but I'd love to see a mix of him, Drew Sample, Tanner Hudson, and Ben Sinnott, who is a late round draft pick in my opinion. That is okay. There we go. Brody says I think it was a pretty good signing. It's going to help him out having a quarterback like Burrow, and I think he might get to the same level as he was back in Miami. And that's what I was pointing out. If you go back to like 2020, his numbers are very similar to Hunter Henry's in New England. Hunter Henry definitely, obviously, like I said, just by watching the game, you can tell Hunter Henry was Mac Jones or Bailey Zappi's go-to guy. He was who they threw the ball to. He was their safety blanket. But Mike Gesicki, I see him as more of a receiver anyway. And this has been, I read a quote earlier from Paul Denner Jr. He said the same thing. He's more of a receiving tight end, whereas I guess Travis Kelsey blocks a little bit. I think he doesn't block as much as Gronk, but he does block more than people give him credit for. I think Mike Gesicki doesn't really block at all. But Drew Sample can't catch. So that's the thing. Now we have both. We have a guy who can't really catch, but is a great run blocker. And we have a guy who doesn't really block at all, but can catch. So now we need to re sign Tanner Hudson for depth. And then Ben Sinnott out of Kansas State. He can block, but he can also make some athletic catches. He can make some very impressive throws if he needs to be. So I am excited about the signing as well. I'm very excited for Mr. Mike Gesicki to come back. I was hoping for more out of him in New England, but I think since yeah, no, he definitely underperformed in New England, and I think that ended up playing to the Bengals' advantage because a lot of Bengals fans wanted him when he was coming out of Miami, and I think he would have costed more. Well, he did cost more, and now that he is with uh, Cincinnati, he's only 3.5 million, which is pretty cheap for what he could be in Cincinnati, and he also is just got this reputation that first he's got to rebound back to, but also Burrow has a reputation, right? That he has to rebound back from. And that is Joe Burrow has been getting tight ends lucrative contracts. So let's look at CJ Uzoma to the New York Jets. They gave him a pile of money. He ended up doing pretty much nothing. Got cut. Hayden Hurst, he got hurt, but he got a lucrative contract. Pretty much did nothing. Got hurt. Just got cut. Irv Smith Jr. did nothing with the Bengals, and he just got signed to the Kansas City Chiefs. So now Mike Gesicki has this potential. He knows he has this potential. Joe Burrow knows he has this potential because of his injury. He's got to bounce back from it. He tasted the Super Bowl. They've licked the Super Bowl, and now they want to take a bite out of the Super Bowl. And so I think with Mike Gesicki, that will definitely help. I'm very interested to see what the Texans gave up for Joe Mixon, though. I'm glad that they ended up trading him instead of just cutting him. They cut him on day one, so it wasn't like a bad backstabby move in my opinion. But I'm glad that they brought him something, then said, "Hey, we're going to trade you, and you're going to a good team as well." He's going to the Houston Texans, who were in the playoffs last season. So I am interested to see what they ended up getting for him. And also, none of this goes through till tomorrow. That's the fun part, right? But Bengals have been very active in free agency. We got Zach Moss. We've got uh, Mike Gesicki, Geno Stone. It's probably someone else I'm forgetting about. But I'm excited for free agency this year. I think they made some good moves. Brody, what do you think about Mike Onwenu? You got him back. That was the guy I wanted. Are you happy with the contract y'all gave him? Or if three Windy One City Two is still in here, what do you think about the Darnell Mooney contract that Atlanta gave him? That was definitely a guy that I thought Chicago was going to want to build around. I'm kind of surprised they let him walk out the door. Hey, welcome. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any full shows or little episodes that we put out. I just put one about Joe Mixon out. I was wrong about Joe Mixon. Actually, I said Joe Mixon wouldn't get cut, and Joe Mixon didn't get cut technically. So I was right there. I was wrong about him staying with the team, but he didn't get cut. Technicality. But make sure to subscribe and like so you don't miss anything. But also comment what your team has done, what you're excited to see from your team, if they've done anything. I know the Cowboys were going to go all in on free agency, and I don't think they've really done anything yet. So if you're a Cowboys fan, you might be kind of just sitting there waiting. But got some big moves here in free agency so far. So we'll talk about them more as we go on. But we've got some big moves thus far in free agency, especially with the running back position. That was a position that I didn't expect to see so much movement so early, but we've seen a ton. Um, Brody says, I'm pretty happy about the contract. We need some protection for whoever is our next quarterback. And I think re signing Onwenu was the right move. No, and what I really liked about Onwenu and what a lot of people who were looking at him really liked about him is he can play multiple positions. Bengals were obviously looking at him primarily as a right tackle, but he can also play the guard position, which is also something the Bengals needed anyway. And he can be a nice depth piece. So I think that was a great signing for the Patriots. And you're right, whoever is back in New England, whoever that new quarterback is, definitely going to need some help. Is Bailey Zappi currently your only quarterback in New England? Do I have that right? Is there like some obscure guy that you guys signed? I guess you guys could sign Ryan Tannehill. Kind of surprised. Kind of surprised he went off the board before, or he hasn't gone off the board, but Jacoby Brissett and Tyrod Taylor and Jameis Winston and Gardner Minshew already have. So I'm kind of curious what he's asking for. But yeah, if you guys get a new decent quarterback, Jacoby Brissett is our. Oh, I forgot you guys did sign Jacoby Brissett. Duh. Okay, I literally mentioned that like in the sentence. Thanks, Brody. Thanks for hopping in here. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss anything. But I appreciate you. Appreciate everyone else who hopped in here. I can't believe I forgot Jacoby Brissett was back with the Patriots. I feel like a moron. Let's see. We got some other people in here. If you're just joining us, feel free to drop a comment. Let me know what your favorite team is doing. Uh, Let me know if you like the moves, if you hate the moves, what you want to see them do still. I'm waiting for something, right? We were on here for 4 hours yesterday talking about moves. It was huge. But I'll probably go for 1 or 2 hours today. We're about 48 minutes in. Today there's obviously less people available, but also it's just a beautiful day out. I want to go enjoy it before I have to go to work. So uh let me know what you want to see your team do down below. And let's talk some ball. Let's talk football here. Okay, Jamar Chase. Can we talk about Jamar Chase's Twitter? I might be the only one here right now. Can I clip this? Guys, let me figure this out here. Create a highlight video. Is that what I want to do? I don't know. Okay, Jamar Chase's Twitter. I'll just come and clip this later. Jamar Chase's Twitter is a wild place right now. So let's just go back to yesterday. And yesterday, it came out that T. Higgins was requesting a trade. And according to Adam Schefter, the Bengals had not talked to T's agent about an extension since March of 2023. And T tweeted, LOL, I know you lying, bro. So who's lying? Is T lying? Is the agent lying? I think the agent's lying personally. I think that he's asking too much and the Bengals just keep hanging up on him. But I don't think the Bengals have just been ignoring his calls or something like that. So we got that. And then he didn't say anything until the Mike Gesicki signing. And it said the Bengals had tweeted, hey, Jamar Chase, are you available for gritty lessons? And that was the Bengals kind of hinting at the Mike Gesicki signing. And then once the signing went through, Jamar tweeted, he'll be right before the season. Mike Gesicki, welcome, fam. And then he responded to Joe Mixon getting released with Appreciate it all, big bro. Put me on a hella game for real. Uh, but 5 minutes ago, this is the tweet that I think is going to end up being important. This and the not going to lie, or I know you lying. This will be a crazy story to tell. What does that mean? Now, earlier in the season, and I recognize that this is insane and probably not likely, but earlier in the season, they had asked Ja'Marr Chase, if Justin Jefferson became a Cincinnati Bengal, would you take a pay cut? And they both said, I mean, we'd have to if we're going to be on the same team, right? They didn't say we won't ever be on the same team. They just said they'd have to take a pay cut. They acknowledged that. If the Vikings are in rebuild mode, and it's been rumored that Justin Jefferson is upset with the team following the Kirk Cousins signing in Atlanta. He's upset that they didn't bring back Kirk Cousins, but he did say he'd play with any quarterback. But maybe now that they brought in Sam Darnold, he's like, okay, what are you doing, guys? Justin Jefferson might just be like, hey, Cincinnati, bring me in. And are we about to trade T. Higgins and that third-round pick that we got yesterday for a compensatory pick after the NFL screwed up? T. Higgins, a third, and then whatever we got for Joe Mixon for Justin Jefferson, and then they're both going to take pay cuts? That would be wild. Could you imagine that offense? The team would be dangerous. I don't even know if that's possible. That feels like that shouldn't be illegal. That would be a crazy story to tell. Jamar is right about that. But what do we think, guys? Let me know what you guys think about that. I know it's insane. I don't think it's going to happen. I'm just saying, like, it's a possibility. Right? Let me know what you want to see your team down. Now I'm all in on the Ja'Marr Chase, Justin Jefferson pay cut to get him to Cincinnati. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. I want to see some DJ Reader action as well. I'd love to see where Danielle Hunter's going because I think he's super underrated, and I'd love to see him get some attention that he deserves. I'm just wow. If you were here for that Geno Stone signing yesterday, when I was live for that, that was the happiest I have been in a long time. But I mean, Justin Jefferson, man, if he becomes a Cincinnati Bengal, I might buy the jersey on the spot, man. And I love T. Higgins. I love T. I'll root for T wherever he goes. Same thing with Tyler Boyd. But if they find a way, first of all, Duke Tobin has to be GM of the year if he gets Justin Jefferson and Ja'Marr Chase on the same team and rebuilds that LSU national championship team. But wow, I'm in. Let's go to Justin Jefferson's Twitter. Has Justin Jefferson said anything? Let's just start. If the NFL isn't going to give us news, I'm going to start reading into things. He's posted nothing. Just a Madden ad. Nah. T and our 18 pick for JJ Bookett. No, I don't even think you'd have to do T in the 18th pick. I think T and the third. I think whatever they got from Mixon, I think you could get a decent haul for that. Feel free to comment, guys, below what your team has done, what your team's doing, what you want your team to do. I want to talk about that. Joe Mixon, we talked about Joe Mixon getting traded, but if you weren't here for that and you want to know more about that, we can talk about that. And Derrick Henry also just signed with the Baltimore Ravens, so we can mention that as well. I know that's the title of the live stream, so if that's why you're hopping in here, let me know and we can discuss that some more. I'd love to. I just uh, kind of just am waiting for more news here. We've got a lot of rumors up in the air. So, answering some texts here. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. Okay, the Lions just made a deal. They got corner Amik Robertson to the Lions on a 2-year deal with 4.5 million guaranteed per source. That is Jeremy Fowler. So the Lions really struggled on defense, at least in their secondary this past season. And now they're starting to make some moves to get back to that NFC Championship game and eventually get to a Super Bowl. So they are making some moves in that secondary. Aaron Glenn has got to be happy. 4.5 million guaranteed. That is a deal right there. Uh, so hopefully he ends up well. I root for the Lions. Lions have been very good to us at No Buts About It. Their fan base has been amazing. I love talking to Lions fans. Um, so I do want to see them succeed so long as it is not at the expense of the Indianapolis Colts or the Cincinnati Bengals, as those are my two favorite teams. But Lions, you're number 3. Um, so I hope you guys do well. But if we meet up in the Super Bowl, sorry, you're going down. All right. All right. Ooh, we got us a big one. We got us a big one. Marcus Spears, 96. So Marcus Spears on ESPN is saying that Ravens free agent linebacker Patrick Queen is planning to sign a 3-year, $41 million contract with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Man, Ravens are losing players to all sorts of AFC North teams. They just lost uh, Geno Stone to the Bengals, and now they're losing Patrick Queen to the Steelers. Wow. Wow. That is a big one. What do we think about that move, chat? Any Ravens fans in here have got to be falling apart. Got to update we have a group chat of moves, and I update it so that I can keep track of what's going on, and so that we all can stay up to date. I know what's about it. So that is a big move though. Let's look at Patrick Queen. Patrick Queen, he was another LSU guy, I believe 2020 rookie, um, drafted by the Baltimore Ravens. He's a 24-year-old. Was kind of a quiet guy at first, but recently he's gotten more national attention at that linebacker position. So he has a 73.1 overall. He's a 64.8 run defender, pass rush of 70.1, and his coverage is 74.8. And I will say, I don't think that 74.8 is enough. And that is coming from a fellow AFC North rival. I think that he is better than that. He just seemed to be everywhere when he was playing the Bengals, and when I'd watch Ravens games, it seemed like they were saying Patrick Queen's name a lot. And of course, that's probably because he had 92 solo tackles and 32 assists. He's got a few turnovers as well. that's going to be scary. I'm kind of scared, to be honest with you. Patrick Queen to the Steelers. They're putting him back there with TJ Watt as well. Going to be troublesome. 3 years, $41 million. That's a pretty good deal for the Steelers, in my opinion. They need to bulk up that defense while they're rebuilding their offense. Jeremy Fowler also said that offensive tackle Akeem Adeniji, who used to be with the Cincinnati Bengals, is signing with the Browns. So he's coming back to the AFC North. I think he went to the Vikings for a hot minute, but now he is back in the AFC North with the Browns. So that obviously Akeem Adeniji is probably more of a depth signing, but that Patrick Queen signing with Mike McDonald going to Seattle to be the head coach, they're losing a lot of their big defense. That defense, I think, is going to have some trouble. They've lost Geno Stone. I think they might be losing Jadeveon Clowney as well. I'm not sure they re-signed him. Definitely lost Patrick Queen, losing a ton of your big star players there. So it'll be interesting to see how Baltimore can rebuild that with a new defensive coordinator. But Patrick Queen is a Pittsburgh Steeler. I know we have a lot of Pittsburgh Steelers fans in that fan base. I respect their fan base. They just annoy the heck out of me during the season. But congrats Pittsburgh. I guess you got a good guy. You got a guy I'm scared of, and he will now be attempting to chase down and knock down Derrick Henry. So that's not a job I want, to be honest. I don't think I could take down Derrick Henry. What do we think about that signing, guys? Let me know. Let me know down below. I'm also interested to see. We talked about this a little bit, but what is Jamar talking about? I'm like on double Twitter duty. I'm watching all these insiders, and now I'm also trying to figure out what Jamar Chase is talking about. Um, Obviously, I have my conspiracy theory about Justin Jefferson, but that's not super likely. I just, what does that mean? It's just, if this if they do, let's say hypothetically they do sign Justin Jefferson, I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be while I'm at work and I can't react to it. So I'm hoping they don't do that. I'm hoping because that would, Commissioner Yes just tweeted, "Don't be delusional. Don't be delusional. Don't be delusional." I don't. So these people with connections. That's CJ Uzomah's girlfriend, and she's still pretty connected with the Bengals. Are tweeting all of this like weird stuff, right? And imagine, yeah, the Super Bowl's in New Orleans with Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, and Justin Jefferson. That would be amazing. That is storybook writing. If the NFL is scripted, this is the year to script it for the Bengals. It's in the Super Bowl is in New Orleans. That's the move, right? That's the move. Shelby Harris is re-signing with the Browns. He announced, so they're getting their defensive tackle back. Giants are signing Drew Lock per Tom Pelissero and Mike Garafolo and Ian Rappaport. So bringing in a quarterback to New York after they lost. Who was there? Actually, they didn't lose their backup. I was thinking Tyrod Taylor was still there, but he was with the Bills. So interesting. There was that rumor that they're done with Mr. Jones, and they just paid Mr. Jones a lot of money. So that's another one to watch out for. What did they do with him? Um, Broncos traded Locke to the Seahawks originally, and now he's a free agent. So Locke is now a New York Giant, according to Ian Rappaport, Tom Pelissero, and Mike Garafolo. And then, of course, Shelby Harris is re-signing with the Browns per himself. So I think he knows what he's doing. Deion Bush is returning to the Chiefs, 1-year deal per Adam Schefter. So if you're a Chiefs fan, there you go. Chiefs haven't made a ton of moves. They did get Irv Smith Jr. Let me know what you guys want to talk about. Today has been crazy. Let's change this title here. What are some big moves? Since I keep bringing it up. There, Justin Jefferson to Bengals. That is the new free agency live stream. If people hop in, that's what we're gonna talk about a little bit. But we're still talking about just free agency in general. That that signing would be insane. Justin Jefferson to the Bengals. That's a conspiracy theory at this point, though. Um, I don't. The contracts would have to be so weird too. Mike Brown would have to almost put like his entire estate into a signing bonus so that it doesn't go against the cap. I wish my Cardinals would do something. You guys made some moves, right? Didn't you? I feel like I talked about the Cardinals a little bit yesterday. Um, I was in Joe Camo's uh, live stream yesterday, his mock draft Monday. Which, if you're a Cardinals fan and you're not subscribed already, I know some of you came over, but I don't. Uh, they're so underwhelming. Well, yeah, but that's part of free agency, right? And you guys are rebuilding. The Cardinal rule though with Joe Camo, you should go over there and subscribe because he's always putting out some great stuff. He's been great to us over here at No Buts About It as well. But I must okay. So you were over there. Cool. Yeah, yeah. I was over there and we were talking, and I I thought he made a lot of really great points. I really liked his mock draft that he came up with this Monday as well. But yeah, you're right. A lot of the signings have been kind of underwhelming for Cardinals fans, and part of that's just they haven't gotten a big name, and that's what a lot of fans look for, right? You want that name you recognize. You want that name that you can put on Twitter and you can say we have this guy now, and I think you got a lot of linebackers, some depth at corner maybe, but nothing that just screamed wow, I guess. But um, you guys might still be in the wide receiver market, right? Because Marquise Brown is a free agent still, if I believe, unless I missed something. And you got Trey McBride still. Joe was very quick to correct me yesterday when I said, do you want to roll out with Marvin Harrison Jr., Rondale Moore, and Michael Wilson?" And he was like, "Well, we have Trey McBride still." And I was like, "Well, Trey's a tight end." I was thinking of wide receivers, right? Um, but I do love Trey. He is a great uh, tight end. He was on my fantasy team, led me to the championship in one of my leagues. So New York Giants are giving former Seahawks quarterback Drew Lock a 1-year deal worth up to $5 million. So he will likely be the backup in New York. That is what will be expected of him over there. Easily our best tight end since the early 70s. Hey, he's good. I enjoyed him. He's fun to watch. I like the tight end position, so I like to watch tight ends on other teams as well, and then figure out how long it will take for the Bengals to get them into their revolving door of tight ends. Yeah, Danny Durp and Locke. Yeah. We've got I was talking about that a little bit. There was that rumor that the Giants were done with Daniel Jones, right? And he got paid a lot of money, then got hurt, and now they're saying we're just done with you. But Drew Lock doesn't seem to be getting paid starter money, so it doesn't look like they're replacing him with Drew Lock. So I don't know what they're going to do. They just threw a ton of money at Brian Burns, so it looks like they're building up their defense first, and they just lost Saquon, replaced him with Devin Singletary. See how that works out. The if you're just joining and you see the title is Justin Jefferson to the Bengals, that is because Jamar Chase is being super duper secretive. He's got something going on. He tweeted, "This will be a crazy story to tell," after calling T. Higgins' agent a liar. And so the obvious conclusion that all Bengals fans are making, including myself, even though I don't really believe it, Justin Jefferson is a Cincinnati Bengal. We are trading T. Higgins. We are trading that extra compensatory pick, 3rd round, and whatever we got for Joe Mixon. It's going up to Minnesota for Justin Jefferson. It would be crazy. It would be insane. But hey, crazier things have happened in the NFL. Still waiting to see where Danielle Hunter goes. Still very interested to see why he hasn't got him and DJ Reader. DJ Reader and Danielle Hunter. 2 big names. Got Patrick Queen off the board. He is going to the Steelers. If you missed that, 3-year, $41 million deal. And Pittsburgh gets a wow. Yeah. Pittsburgh getting him and TJ Watt at that linebacker position, even though TJ Watt's more of an edge rusher anyway. That's going to be a dangerous combination. How is Hunter a free agent again? I swear he's on the market every year. I think they franchise tagged him last year, Aaron. But yeah, no. The reason I want to see where he goes is because I've got him in that same category as Trey Hendrickson. I don't think Danielle Hunter gets the same attention he deserves as a pass rusher, which you have obviously like Myles Garrett, you have TJ Watt, you have great pass rushers in the NFL, but no one talks about Trey Hendrickson. Nobody talks about Danielle Hunter, and they're great. And honestly, Josh Allen, the Jaguars' Josh Allen, is a great pass rusher who also doesn't get attention. So I want to see these guys get the attention they deserve. And so that's why I'm interested to see where Danielle Hunter goes, whether it'll be somewhere where he's going to get that national media attention. Because like if he goes to the Chiefs somehow, he could put up worse numbers than he did in Minnesota, and he'd still probably get a ton of attention. Got an itchy nose. But I'm very interested to see where Danielle Hunter goes. Now that Derrick Henry is with the Baltimore Ravens, the Bengals need a defensive tackle, and they need to sign DJ Reader, I think, because these guys are getting paid big bucks. And I'm also still drafting a defensive tackle because we only have BJ Hill on contract right now. But since I'm hypothetically throwing a ton of money at Justin Jefferson too, I don't know. Maybe we won't have a kicker or something. Speaking of special teams, the Texans are paying $3 million a year for two years, so it's $6 million total for Tommy Townsend, the Kansas City Chiefs punter. Man, I wanted him so bad. And I didn't know this, but now I wanted him even more after I found this out. He was Evan McPherson's holder in college. I don't know why we didn't go for him. $3 million a year, that's chunk change. That's easy money for an NFL team. Our punters suck. Tommy Townsend's worst year was better than like our last 2 punters' best years. So I wish Tommy Townsend him and Fair. That's not fair. It's not fair that they have both him and Fairbairn when unless they're on the Bengals, then it's fair. But I really wanted Tommy Townsend. As soon as Matt Araiza got signed by the Chiefs, I put out a video talking about that, saying I want Tommy Townsend. Bengals didn't listen. $3 million a year was apparently too much for them. And I know they drafted Brad Robbins last season, and maybe he was a rookie. Maybe he'll improve, but I wasn't impressed by Brad Robbins. I'd like them to bring in some competition for him in the form of Drew Chrisman probably again, but I need a punter. And that's a really weird thing to need. But I mean, when your team when you can flip the field like that with a punt, that can be a big game changer, right? I don't think people realize how big of a deal punters can be. So Tommy Townsend, you're in Texas now. Congratulations. You went from Kansas City to Texas. You did the opposite of your franchise. Your golden locks will be needed in Houston. Or we could just never punt. If the Bengals never have to punt, that would be great too. But I thought, man, that would have been a great deal, right? All right. Hey, I appreciate it. We were already at more views today than all of yesterday's last stream. We're at 69 views. And oh, the card signed DJ Dallas. I missed that. What's the contract look like, Aaron? Did they? Is that new? I didn't see. Let me look this up here. Free agent running back DJ Dallas plans to sign with the Arizona Cardinals per Jordan Schultz. Okay. Special teams ace is only 25 years old and now finds a new home in Arizona. Okay. Again, that's kind of one of those. I mean, his name's at least people know his name, right? Not a big signing. Yeah, I couldn't find the contract name, but yeah, I found the Jordan Schultz just posted it. So we got breaking news here on No Butts About It from Aaron. Aaron's breaking some news for us. DJ Dallas to the Arizona Cardinals. Still kind of that overwhelming or underwhelming signing. Who, Aaron, as a Cardinals fan, if you could go to your GM, Monty, if you could go to Monty Ossenfort and say, sign this guy, who would it be? Who is the guy that you want? Who is your dream signing in Arizona? I'm intrigued. I think you'd have to go safety, right? Safety would be the big one with Buda Baker on his last year. Kendall Fuller or Stephon Gilmore. We just need cornerback. Okay, yeah. Kendall Fuller. He's someone the Bengals were interested in. I don't know if they still are, but Kendall Fuller would be a good signing. Stephon Gilmore as well. Stephon Gilmore, I really like him. So fun story about him. 2 years ago, the high school I went to high school at went to state for the very first time, and this was a very emotional um, story. So what had happened is, unfortunately, the quarterback who was supposed to start got cancer and he passed away. Our rival school cut their quarterback, their starting quarterback, for the coach's son. And so he came to our school and led the team to state for the first time ever. And I promise this relates to Stephon Gilmore. Um, we get to state, it's down at Lucas Oil Stadium. We're watching, and I'm sitting there and I see this guy standing over there with a little kid, and I'm like, who is on the field watching this game? Just kind of over in the corner. And so I pulled out my handy dandy Samsung Galaxy phone with the super zoom, and guess what? It was Stephon Gilmore. He had brought his son to watch the Indiana high school football state championship. And that's not a huge deal, but like in the moment and everything that had led up to it, it was a huge. He didn't have to do that, like he could have just sat at home. No one would have noticed. No one would have been like, "Hey, uh, you've got to come to this." I thought it was really cool that Stephon Gilmore brought his son to that and watched these high schoolers play. I think he shook a few of their hands as well, which is just a really cool gesture in my mind. Um, that whole game was just emotional. My friend, my friend Grant Gashesky, who I went to high school with, he is now in LA and he films for a bunch of NFL players. He made a short YouTube documentary. It's called For Owen. So I recommend checking it out about that whole story, and you'll see what I'm talking about, why it was so emotional. But Yeah, I thought that was really cool of Stephon Gilmore, and he will always have a special place because of that. I thought that was really neat of him to bring his kid to that game. Because I mean, people say like, yeah, I mean that's what players do. They show up at stuff like that, but no, they don't. Like, and he didn't even. No one knew he was there either. Like, if I hadn't have just been looking around and just like pulled out my phone to see who it was, no one would have. I wouldn't have known he was there. No one would have known he was there. So I was pretty impressed by Stefan with that move. So Stefan, if you're watching, first of all, thank you. Second of all, great move, upstanding guy, loved it. Hope you have some success. I think you're a future Hall of Famer. My senior year, I had a former safety, Green Bay safety, Nick Collins, give us a pep talk before homecoming. We ended up winning our first homecoming in years. Green Bay won the Super Bowl that year too. I grew up in Wisconsin. Yeah, no, it's so Drew Tranquil, the linebacker for the Kansas City Chiefs, he went to my high school. We have a ton of players from Fort Wayne in the NFL, but Drew Tranquil is the only one who went to my high school, and I was in his brother's class, and I loved watching Drew when he was in high school. He's 4 or 5 years older than me, but it was it's really cool to see these guys have success when you knew them like growing up. It's kind of weird too though, at the same time, but it's cool, and I'm glad that Nick Collins and he was able to lead you guys to a homecoming victory. Hadn't won in years though. That kind of not a great homecoming if the alumni come back and you guys lose, but that's good. That's good. It's always good to see players come back, and there's a lot of Fort Wayne players that come back. Jesse Bates comes back a lot. I think Drew Tranquil comes back a bit. Tyler Eifert lives in Florida now, but he comes up here to visit his family quite a bit. Rod Woodson puts on a camp in Fort Wayne every so often. So I mean that is I love it when players give back to the community. Do we have any other breaking news now that we've got this emotional party going on here? Colts are re-signing punter Rigoberto Sanchez to a 3-year, $7.5 million deal per source. Bengals miss out on another punter, but Rigoberto Sanchez is choosing to stay in Indianapolis. 3-year, $7.5 million deal. Uh, Decent punter, pretty good punter, I'd say. Not a Pat McAfee, but he gets the job done. I would have taken him over Brad Robbins personally. Aaron, do we know what that or not Drew Tranquil, DJ Dallas contract looks like yet? Any news on that? We haven't seen what the Bengals are getting for Joe Mixon yet either. They must still be negotiating it. They must have just agreed to trade him, and they're debating what to actually trade him for. So we will see. Thank you to everyone who is watching, who is viewing this. This is our best live stream so far. Yeah, so no, no, sorry, Aaron. I was talking about Joe Mixon got traded. DJ Dallas was a free agent signing. But Joe Mixon, last night it was reported that Joe Mixon was going to get cut after they signed Zach Moss, but this morning it's become a trade now. They're trading Joe Mixon to the Houston Texans. So I'm not sure if you misunderstood me or what, but Joe Mixon is going to the Houston Texans. Zach Moss is the Bengals' new running back, and DJ Dallas is DJ Dallas. Which again, I made a video saying Joe Mixon wasn't going to get cut. And everyone on last night was commenting on that video, like calling me an idiot. And I was just kind of eating it, kind of got to eat that when you're wrong. So I'm happy with I'm happy with the way that panned out, right? 76 views. This is only our second live stream, but we've already doubled the amount of our last live stream. So I'm happy to have all of you here. Would love to talk with everyone that's here, though. We're doing great so far. I'm not going to go as long as I did yesterday. Yesterday I went for 4 hours, and I was just exhausted by the end of it. And I have to go to work tonight. Got to film some volleyball, but probably go for another 30 minutes here. See where the news takes us. We're just kind of riding that wave, right? Of NFL free agency. I had to take my victory lap under that Joe Mixon video because everyone was just roasting me. But again, technicalities. And Matthew Berry did get me. I'll admit that. I really thought he was going to be on the team this year, but I'm going to take what I can get. My whole Twitter feed is just Patrick Queen highlights right now. And let me tell you, that does scare me. Him being in Pittsburgh, that worries me a little bit. Him and Derrick Henry, Derrick Henry being in Baltimore, and then Patrick Queen going to the Steelers from Baltimore. I wish they'd both gotten out of the AFC North, or I guess in Derrick Henry's case, stayed out of the AFC North. But it is what it is. In case you missed it, I want to go over a few other of the major signings that we had this morning. Aaron Jones is going to the Minnesota Vikings. We also had announcement that Mike Gesicki is signing with the Cincinnati Bengals on a 1-year, $3.5 million deal. And we also had Marcus Mariota is going to the Commanders. That's a decent signing and a very confusing signing, as we were talking with Bears fan earlier. 3 Windy, 1 City 2. What are the Commanders drafting a quarterback now, or are they running with Sam Howell and Marcus Mariota is going to be the backup? Very interesting. Yeah, Gesicki. I like that signing. I think Gesicki is going to do well in Cincinnati. Both him and Burrow are on bounce back seasons. So I'm hoping he's more of that receiver type, but Drew Sample, who they extended yesterday, is a blocker. So we've got both now. Yeah, the Marcus Mariota thing. And also another weird one that isn't really being talked about as much is Jameis Winston to the Browns. A beat reporter for the Browns pointed out they're going to have to answer some questions as to why they aren't bringing back Joe Flacco after Joe Flacco said he wanted to stay in Cleveland. But they are signing the Cleveland Browns are going with Jameis Winston instead. But Marcus Mariota, so you bring him in. I thought, based on what I'd read, that they were going to draft a quarterback. I thought that was like a sure thing, that like Sam Howell wasn't the starter. They're going to draft a quarterback. Maybe now are they saying that Sam Howell is starting caliber, Marcus Mariota is the backup, and they're going to draft Marvin Harrison Jr.? I know Cardinals fans were really hoping he'd fall to them, but I think I'm very interested. Very, very interested. So you mentioned, let me see if I can't figure out how to do, oh, I got to do it this way. So you mentioned that he has to teach him how to gritty. Let me make sure that I got this pulled up here for you. So, yep, we got the Bengals tweeted before they signed Mike Gesicki, "Hey, Ja'Marr Chase, are you available for gritty lessons?" And Ja'Marr Chase said he will indeed be teaching Mike Gesicki how to gritty and welcome him to the team. He'll be right. So we got Mike Gesicki is a former Patriot, former Dolphin, and now a current Cincinnati Bengal. So big moves at the tight end position. I'd still like to see them draft a tight end. I think that Jameis was a good signing. I don't have any problem with them signing Jameis Winston. I just think that Cleveland is going to be or Cleveland fans are going to be very attached to Joe Flacco after that kind of lucky run, I guess, that he got them to the playoffs. And he said he wanted to come back, former comeback player of the year, beat out a guy who died and came back to life for comeback player of the year, mind you. And they're just saying, hey, no, we're going a different direction. I'll be interested to see if Joe Flacco just retires. It'd be very interesting to see, but let's see, what else do we have? Got a notification. Is it another Patrick Queen highlight? What are the odds? Oh no, it's just Patrick. This is my entire Twitter feed right now. So you guys can see it. Yeah, it's just all Patrick Queen. Jeremy Fowler, yeah. Patrick Queen is Heath Ledger now, I guess. Patrick Queen highlight, Rigoberto Sanchez, more Patrick Queen stuff. Everything is Patrick Queen. It's a great signing for the Steelers. I hate the signing, but it's a great signing for the Steelers. Jameis was a good, but Jameis was a good signing. Jameis would be a good backup. He's probably going to end up being the starter when Deshaun gets hurt again, even though Browns fans are still trying to convince me that he's better than Burrow. He's not. They're not going to convince me that current Deshaun Watson is better than Burrow. Maybe like 2018 Deshaun Watson, sure, but now no. Joe Flacco 2023 is the Chad Pennington 2008. Yeah, or like Brett Favre when he retired and then unretired and then went to a bunch of different teams. I just it's funny. The NFL's funny, man. You think you know what's gonna happen, and then nah. And I think the players are the same way. They think they're safe, and then yeah. That's why I'm kind of like with this Justin Jefferson thing. Maybe it's not likely, but maybe. Maybe the Bengals aren't going to sign a defensive tackle at all, and we're just going to throw all that money at Justin Jefferson. The script is writing itself, right? You got Super Bowl in New Orleans, LSU Joe Burrow, LSU Ja'Marr Chase, LSU Justin Jefferson. Who says no? I appreciate everyone who has hopped in so far. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. We'll be putting out some more stuff here and there about all this stuff going on once everything's kind of settled. Chuss is working on some videos. I'm working on some videos on the side. And Stan the Jet Fan will also be joining us tonight, I believe, around 8 or 9 o'clock. So make sure you don't miss that. See, as soon as I get off this live stream, though, and it happened yesterday, and I knew it was going to happen. There was going to be a big signing, and it was Austin Ekeler going to the Washington Commanders. As soon as I got off, that was the signing that we got. Why is Mike Williams trending? Let's see what we got here. Oh, there's just like a whole bunch of. Apparently, the Patriots have had trade talks with the Chargers about stars Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Joey Bosa, and Khalil Mack. Um, I assume they're only going to be able to trade for one or two of those guys, not all of them. But yeah, very very interesting. Mike Williams may find himself on a new team. That kind of suck. You finally get a head coach, and you get traded. No bad sign. Do not pass go. Yeah. New England fans haven't been punished enough, right? Um, I saw a joke that they're going to be banned from drafting JJ McCarthy as well because the last time they drafted a Michigan quarterback, it was terrible for the rest of the league. So, or it was like unathletic, undervalued, can't throw the ball Michigan quarterback. Obviously, describing Tom Brady, and that's kind of the same profile that JJ McCarthy has at this point. So, we'll see. I hope not. Let's check in on Jamar Chase. Is he still tweeting some? Nope, he's still on that. This will be a crazy story to tell. He did not choose to elaborate at all. Bro's probably just tweeting stuff. He probably doesn't know anything. That would be kind of funny if he's just like it's like what if I was an NFL player, I would definitely just post random emojis. Yeah, Irv Smith did go to the Chiefs, and good for him, I guess. I mean, he was awful in Cincinnati, so um, Irv Smith is a Kansas City Chief though on a 1 year deal. Probably just third string guy if I had to guess behind I think Gray and Kelsey are the two guys that they have there right now. So congrats. Congrats to Irv Smith getting a deal done. What do we want to see, guys? What's our big signing of the year? Uh, Aaron has said that he wants to see Kendall Fuller or Stephon Gilmore get signed by the Arizona Cardinals. Do we have any other fans of any other teams in here? Who do you want your team to sign? Let me know over here in the chat, and we'll talk about it. Or if there's a signing that you are excited about that you want to talk about, let me know down in the chat. Aaron broke some breaking news to us earlier as well. The DJ Dallas is now signing with the Arizona Cardinals. Let's see if we have that contract yet. We don't. It does not look like they know. We also don't know what Joe Mixon is being traded for at this point. He's just being traded. That's all. That's all we know. Um, but DJ Dallas moving to another NFC West team, and that is the Arizona Cardinals from the Seattle Seahawks. Let's. I always like to log off with a big signing, and it's because I know as soon as I log off, someone's gonna get signed. Yesterday we logged off with Jermaine Illuminor to the Giants, and then Austin Eckler got signed right after it. Yeah, I don't know. No, don't know what's going on. We're waiting. Waiting on Danielle Hunter. Waiting on Joe Mixon compensation. Um, Former Arizona defensive tackle Likai Fotu signed with the Jets. The dude never wore gloves in the trenches and was okay. He so yeah, actually I talked about that contract a little bit earlier. Let me if I am I thinking of the I think I'm thinking of the right guy. Let me see if I can go through these notifications and we can pull that up real quick. He was just signed like an hour ago too. He was one of the first like live signings I did on this stream. So I think if I'm yeah, Jeremy Fowler said Likai Fotu to the Jets for 2.5 million base with an upside of 4 million. So yeah, they're adding some defensive line depth. They need to get better in the trenches in New York, and they've done that. Not sure if he is starter material. Sounds like to you he did all right. He did okay. Wasn't a huge signing. Obviously they didn't throw a ton of money at him either. So they need O line too though. The Jets need O line, O line, O line. So I'm kind of shocked they haven't really signed any O line guys, but unless I missed something. But the Jets they need some O line depth. You got to protect Aaron Rodgers. And Stan the Jet fan disagrees with me, but I don't think Aaron Rodgers would have been much better behind that O line. I think he would have. Well, he did get hurt, but I just don't think he would have had any success. That O line just gave them no time. Interested to see where Zach Wilson ends up and how he does wherever he goes. Because I'm not saying Zach Wilson is amazing at all, but I think he really had no shot with that uh, Jets O line, and that's why everyone like on Bengals Twitter wants us to sign Mekhi Becton. No, he's hurt all the time, and they're like, "Well, his potential. You can't show your potential when you're hurt." Just saying. But if maybe as a depth piece, okay, as a depth piece, he is not a starting right tackle. I am sorry. I don't trust him. I don't want Joe getting hurt anymore. What's a bigger gaffe is the Bears' handling of Justin Fields. I personally love Fields, but now the Bears are probably only getting a day 3 pick or less. Yeah, so Justin Fields. The thing with him is both teams that he was tied to, the Steelers and Atlanta Falcons, have found they found their quarterback now, right? So I really thought he would be the first quarterback to go. And that would kind of be the guy who helped us figure out the kind of landing spots of all the other guys. But instead, it's been the opposite. And really, the only place, Minnesota, maybe, now that they don't have Kirk Cousins. And do you want to trade a quarterback within the division and then have him potentially blow up? And you just signed Sam Darnold. Is Sam Darnold going to get the chance to start? So there's a lot going on in Minnesota. The Bears, yeah, I agree. I agree, Aaron. They messed this up. Unless they're not drafting Caleb Williams, then yeah, right, yeah. They signed Darnold, and they're saying Darnold's going to get the chance to start. So I don't think they'd trade for Fields, or they wouldn't trade a whole lot for Fields. And Fields is going to need a payday soon as well. So that's going to be on teams' minds when they trade for him. So um I don't know what the Bears are doing. The Bears are weird. The Bears and the Commanders are weird teams. Maybe they trade him to the Commanders. That'd be the only other team I can think of off the top of my head. I mean, if I think Darnold's only a 1 year, 10 million. So if he's just a backup quarterback, you don't lose a ton in assets. But yeah, they have Jaron Hall there too that they drafted last year. And they traded for Dobbs. So, like, are they really in the mood to trade for another quarterback that could potentially fall apart in Minnesota? And Justin Jefferson's reportedly already upset. Very, very, very interesting situation for the Minnesota Vikings. And they're losing Danielle Hunter. They signed a few guys on defense. With Danielle Hunter right now is a free agent. Harrison the Hitman Smith is getting up there in age. So I think Harrison Smith is a 2012 rookie, if I remember correctly. So about the same age as like Andrew Luck, Robert Griffin III, those guys. Let's get some news. If I was Jefferson, I'd be too. Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, let's just Jefferson. If you are willing to take a pay cut, and Jamar is willing to take a pay cut, come on down to Cincinnati, and let's go win a Super Bowl together. Then you'll be happy again. We'll trade. I'll give you T. Higgins, a third, because we got that extra third. And then if you need a little something on top, well, let's find out what we got for Joe Mixon, and then maybe I'll throw that in too. Ooh, the Bears did something. The Bears have agreed to terms with tight end Gerald Everett. So the former Chargers tight end is now a Chicago Bear. Very interesting to see what they got him for, because the tight end market's been kind of all over the place. Let's see here. Interested to see what people are saying. Like saying, okay, he's still playing. I think he's a decent signing. Like he's not going to be the tight end one. He doesn't need to be. They still have Cole Kmet. So decent signing for the Chicago Bears right there in Gerald Everett. Let's find out. Ooh, we're one view away from 100. Come on, guys. Oh, yeah. I mean, Aaron, Cole Kmet is the guy. That's why I'm interested to see what this contract looks like. If they throw a ton of money at him, then yeah, I don't agree with that. But if it's a cheap contract, if it's like a Mike Gesicki level deal where they get like 3.5 mil for a year or 7 for 2 years or something like that, sure, great signing in my opinion, because he's depth and he's an extra weapon. And they just lost Darnell Mooney, right? Let's find out. I wish 3WindyCity1 2 or whatever his username was. I know his real name, but I don't want to say it online. But I wish he was still in here and he could give us his thoughts. He's a Bears fan. But very, very good move as long as the contract isn't something insane. I do like Cole Kmet, though. I don't know how we don't know. Yeah, how do we not know what we got for Joe Mixon yet? Like, how it's been like 5 hours. Very. I just picture like Mike Brown and the Houston Texans owner just arguing over like a 1 round difference. Derek Watts retiring? Are you for real? Aaron, are you breaking news on this podcast already through the chat? You've done it already with DJ Dallas. What do we got here? You are correct. 6 hours ago, but you are correct. Derek Watt is retiring. Wow. That leaves one Watt brother left. Derek Watt was with the Steelers and the Chargers, obviously. He was a fullback, so he wasn't a defensive player like TJ and JJ. And there's, of course, that funny Subway commercial where they're sitting there and they're talking about their sandwiches, and he just goes, "Okay, Derek." And Derek's always kind of been that third brother. It's kind of left out in terms of, I guess, fame and success in a lot of ways. But 100 views. There we go. Derek Watt retiring. Aaron Van Buren is breaking news on the No Butts About It live stream. Love to see it. Got about 9 minutes here before I think I'm gonna have to hop off. So let's see if we can get another big story here. Tight end Gerald Everett going to the Bears. That's something, but I want something juicy. You know, I want something that's just like, I can't believe that just happened. I want Danielle Hunter to the Cardinals. I want that for Aaron. I want that for Aaron. I don't know why they'd sign him, but I want something big. Or Justin Jefferson to the Bengals. Give me that. Or even just the compensation for Joe Mixon. Well, here's something. This isn't NFL related, but the Batman Part 2 will now be released in 2026, so it's getting delayed. That sucks. That popped up on my feed. So if you're a Batman fan, sorry. I'm a big Batman fan. What? You'll take anything for the Cardinals? Okay. We'll give you T. Higgins for 3 first rounders. How's that? If you agree to the deal on here, it's binding. He's thinking. It's a good deal. It's a good offer. Come on, Aaron. Just 3 first rounders. You don't even know who they are. A pass? No. I thought it was a good deal. Why not, right? You need a new wide receiver. Okay, we have so we have some new stuff here. We got Colts are making a strong push to re-sign cornerback Kenny Moore per sources. His market appears to be picking up per Jeremy Fowler, but we also have the Gerald Everett deal, and this is a little. I think this is a little much for him. Bears are giving former Chargers tight end Gerald Everett a 2-year, $12 million base value deal with a max of $14 million that includes a $6.1 million fully guaranteed per source. So maybe he'll have to perform. That's a little. That's a little much than I'd probably want to give for Gerald Everett. I think I'm happier with the 3.5 Mike Gesicki deal there. We'll see though. We'll see how it works out. I think Cole Kmet will still end up being the tight end 1 there in Chicago. I have 2 first round picks for the competent GM for the first time in my, I can't see the hearts in the way, 20 years as a Cardinals fan. So, okay, fair enough. Understandable. I'm just saying though, you have T. Higgins. You could have T. Higgins. Or you could have the first round picks. And the first round picks could be anything. They could even be T. Higgins, right? So that old Family Guy joke. The mystery box could be anything. It could even be a boat. 49ers pass rusher Chase Young has added a Titans visit to his schedule. So Titans have been making moves as well. Happy for Brian Callahan down there in Nashville, Tennessee. Tom Pelissero reported he'll visit the Panthers and Saints first. So I don't know that the Saints will be able to afford him. They've got those cap hit problems. Come on, let's break some news. Jamar's trending. Why is Jamar trending? No, there's just the stuff we've been talking about. It's just people saying that Jamar is going to teach Mike Gesicki how to gritty and that he's bringing Justin Jefferson to the Bengals. Mike Gesicki just tweeted, "Listen, everyone, like it or not, I definitely got to bring the gritty back now. Thanks, dog." Bangalorian just released he does great stuff with Drew Garrison over on the Big City Bengals podcast. Friend of the show right there. He released a mock draft where he's only drafting defensive linemen now that Derrick Henry is a Raven. So there might be some validity to that as well. Oh, we have a Ja'Marr Chase update. Where did that go? Where did that go? Where did that go? I just saw that. I think that was real. So I'm not gonna put it. There's some language in the tweet, so I'm not gonna put it on the screen. But Willie Lutz, Bengals fan, well known on Twitter. If you're in Bengals Twitter, he tweeted, "Are they trading for Justin Jefferson?" And Jamar 16 minutes ago tweeted, "Justin Jefferson, please answer these people. LOL, I don't know why they think I'm calling the shots. What you doing, yo?" So hey, maybe. Justin Jefferson to the Bengals. The plot thickens. There would be. I would go. I was already planning on buying a Jordan Battle jersey, but if Justin Jefferson got signed, I would buy a Justin Jefferson jersey today. Like if he went through today, we're going Bengals. Justin Jefferson jersey today. People are suggesting we can't trade Boyd. That's people want us to trade Higgins and Boyd. We can't trade Boyd. Boyd's a free agent. I don't think the Bengals would re-sign him just to trade him. Jamar needs to go to Paycor Stadium and just be like, "Hey, look, let's figure this out. How are we going to get this done?" And they both need to take a pay cut. Joe Burrow might need to restructure his contract too, and just be like, "We're tired of getting crapped on. Figure it out." I'm just being real. Like if you're here looking for like insider information, that's not what you're gonna get. I have no insider information. I am a fan with a podcast who wanted to hop on here and talk ball. So that's what we're getting here. This is fan driven media here. So I hope you enjoy it. But I have no inside information. I'm just kind of trying to collect information and connect dots that might not even need to be connected. We're over 2 hours now. I know I said that I wouldn't go over 2 hours, but I really want to end with a bang, right? We don't want to just end with speculation. Let's get something done. If I can get at least Joe Mixon's compensation. Or a DJ Reader signing. DJ Reader signing. Give me something. Give me from any team. Give me something. Give me something. Aaron, you got any breaking news for us? Ooh, got a notification. Who is it? Oh, it's just NFL Combine. What? What? No. Why would you do that to me, NFL? Yeah, we're kind of getting sleepy here. I can tell. I'm sorry, guys. Good stream though. I enjoyed talking with everyone who commented. Um, big big stories here. I think got some stuff going. Hit 106 views. I appreciate everyone who stopped in and everyone who will watch this later. Please go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already as well. That'll really help us out. Just wanna finish off with a bang for y'all. Something big. Because that's what we like to do here at No Buts About It. What are we doing here? Patrick Queen blocked one of the Pittsburgh Steelers super fans. His first act as a Steeler is to block Steelers fans. Oh man, that might be one of my favorite. That's funny. That's funny. I may have a new favorite Steeler. I still think that big signing from the Bengals hasn't come yet. There's something coming. I don't know that it's Justin Jefferson. Like in reality, I'm being so real right now. I don't know if it's Justin Jefferson, but there's something. There's something coming. Whether it's a defensive tackle or what, but there's something big coming. We haven't really had a big signing yet. The biggest signing has been Geno Stone so far. So let's get one more deal. One more deal. We're at 3:00. I want to go get some stuff done before I have to go to work. I appreciate everyone who has joined. Stan the Jeff Fan and I will be on tonight, I believe, to talk about the Jets signings, obviously, but also our favorite signings just in general from NFL free agency. And if you all want to hop on, I'd love to see some of you again. And I'd love to talk to you about that again as well. And we'll probably also talk about any big signings that happen between the end of this stream and beginning of that one. So just let me know down in the comments what you want to see more of from your NFL team in free agency. I won't be able to be on tomorrow because I'll have to be at work, but I will. I will try to get something uploaded, but I'm. I will be excited to continue to cover the NFL. This is what I enjoy doing, um, and you guys have been great. So once this final signing comes through, whatever it is, we'll report it, talk about it a little bit, and then I'll log off here, just so you know. Let's see, come on, come on. Why is the NFL doing this to me, right? I promise you, as soon as I log off, something's going to happen. And so, for the sake of the NFL and your football teams, I'm going to make the sacrifice and end this stream right now. And I appreciate everyone who has joined. Thank you. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And you can find us on Spotify, anywhere you listen to podcasts, and also on Instagram at No But Show. If you want to email us, you can email us at bullmoosepodcast2, the number 2 at gmail.com. Until next time, go do something nice for someone. And Justin Jefferson, if you're watching, take a pay cut and sign with the Cincinnati Bengals. That'd be the nice thing that you do. See y'all.